Hi, it's Jason in Jason's Jungle. Today I'm planting out my winter squash. This bed is 4 foot by 14 foot. Now when you're planting squash vines, they recommend that you plant them 3 foot apart, which on this bed would mean I would probably get 4, maybe 5 plants down the middle. But even then, the vines, and they do like to vine, and they would be all over the place. They'd be attacking the herbs, they'd be attacking the onions, they'd be climbing the fruit fence, covering the paths. So if I wanted to try and keep them controlled in here, I could plant 1, maybe 2 squash vines, which is why I'm not planting them here. I'm planting them at the back of Beyond. So this is the back of Beyond. Not much planted, a couple of fruit bushes, quince, medlar. But what I did do last year was I covered it, the whole of this chipping. And that chipping being sat out since autumn, getting all the rains from autumn and winter, soaking them up and locking them down in itself and in the soil. But one thing about this, a lot of this chipping is Leyladii, and so people don't like using Leyladii because it's a belief that it'll be too acidic, and it'll kill off the plants. So I'm going to try growing those vine squash in this. So I'll dig holes, move away the mulch, dig a hole, add some fertiliser and pop them in. Now because I won't really be coming in this area very often, I can get them, I don't mind if they sprawl and take over the place. So I've got them 3 to 4 foot apart. I reckon I can get 8 in here, possibly more, but 8 will do. And they will just take over the place, hopefully covering it, keeping the weeds down, and we will see if the Leyladii is too poisonous for them. But I have to admit, the last couple of years, me quince and me medlar have only had a couple of flowers on them and a couple of fruit. This year, well, the quince has flowered, but there are loads of little, they look like they've taken, they look like they've been pollinated, and I can't count them. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or 60, so they've got to be thinned down in the June drop or something. And then the medlar, that's just covered in flowers. So whether it's coincidental or whether it has something to do with mulch, they are doing well this year. Hopefully that'll translate into fruit. But anyway, let's get back to the vines. And this was where my audio stopped working properly. I was getting interference from household Wi-Fi in the area. So what I'm going to do is just do a voiceover about the plants that I'm planting. The first one is Georgia Candy Roaster. This is a banana-shaped squash with pinkish orange skin and a slight bluish tip, and the squash on that weigh about 10 pounds, which is quite a decent size. After that, I've got an East European squash called Moscatna, or something along those lines. This is a butternut type. However, the seed packet that I have shows that it's an orange flesh, an orange skin. So I don't know whether that's artistic license or what. The third one was Jack of All Trades, a medium-sized pumpkin that's good for carving, supposed to be good for cooking, for pumpkin pies and for soups. So I've got 2 of them in, so I've got 2 of those 2 in. The next one is Zombie F1. Now this definitely looks like a Halloween pumpkin. You know, you don't even need to carve it, but there's nothing on the packaging that says whether it's edible, whether it tastes good, or whether it's good for pies or stuff. So that's one that I only planted 1 of. So with the first 3 having 2 each, that leaves 1 more planting hole. And so what I've done is I put in a spare trombone squash. I'm growing it in the polytunnel, and when it's going vertically you get nice straight necks. So I'm going to go on the ground, let it sprawl around and see what shapes I get of the necks without gravity intervening. 8 plants. I've got 2 left to plant. So far something's gone wrong with the recording every time I've been planting them. Right then, let's get on with this one. Got 2 chances left of getting it right. So here is what I'm going to be planting. This one is Muscatina. So the Muscatina is the Russian butternut shape, but not coloured. You can see weed roots all trying to go through here. I did a good weed the other day, getting rid of nettles, which came up really easy, and getting rid of buttercup, which came up really easy, couch grass, which came up easy, and docks, which didn't. But anyway, you see we're down to there. That's a good 4 or 5 inches of soil, of mulch on top of it, and it's quite moist and thick. This is quite clear in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my amendments to it. So I'll be adding bloodfish and bone, I'll be adding superphosphate, and I'll be adding long-term slow release fertiliser, general purpose fertiliser. So I'll add them into this, and then we'll take a look at the root. Now don't plan it on adding fertilising anymore after this. You know, so I don't think I'll be coming up with a feed or anything to wrestle through the thicket that will hopefully be here of squash leaves. But just in case I do, I'm leaving the stakes right next to the plants so I know where they are. Because I'm hoping that with this stuff going in now, with the wood chip on, and I'll be adding mycorrhiza fungi, that there's enough moisture in the soil to last them, so it won't dry up when the sun's out, and it'll buffer any rain to stop them running away when we get rain. So as I said, mycorrhiza fungi. And that should be a good thing around here with all this wood chip. Fungi loves things like wood to get the teeth into. Not that it has teeth, but so this will be great for it to spread and infest. Talk about infesting things being good. But let's just look at the plant before we look at the roots. You've got this being the first leaf coming off, and this is the second. Said in the courgette, this is the leader, and they'll tend to poke off in the direction of the second. So I'll point this in this direction and hope that it heads off romping in the direction that I want it. I'm trying to get them all to sort of point in a similar direction. But let's get the head out of the pot. That's not too bad. Not as developed as some of the others, but still not bad. I just scatter this on there. All the excess will go into the soil, into the planting hole, so it won't go to waste. And I'll just make it and plant it the right way. And I'll be planting it so that it's about level with the surface of the soil underneath the mulch. There we go, so hopefully that will run off in this direction. Last bit is take, so the drier stuff, scatter around to mulch. And this is only thin, so when it does get wet it'll dry out quickly, because I don't want the necks being too wet, because they don't like the next wet. They're a lot. Okay, so that's how I've been planting them. I take my marker stick, I'll get back in the corner. Not that I'll ever find these again, but I'll just leave them in here for now. And that's how I've been planting them. Now, let's see if this worked this time. Oh, that was close. With one plant to go, I managed to finally get it recorded. So proud of me, I took a step back, right towards the other plant that I hadn't planted yet. But luckily I missed it. That was the trombone squash. So, yep, I've got all of it planted. And I just now have to sit back and see what happens. I'm not going to pamper them. They'll either survive or they'll not. And, well, if you follow us, I'll do updates of the season. Subscribe to get notifications of them. And if you liked it, click like, leave a comment. What do you think will happen with the fact that it's a Leyladii mulch? Do you think it's going to kill them all off? Do you think they're going to thrive? Let us know. And if you're growing any of the types that I'm growing now, let us know what they're like. If you can you eat that F1 zombie? Do you want to eat zombie? I don't know. But yep, if you've grown any of these, I'm interested in hearing what they taste like, what you do with them, what's the best way you've cooked it with them. Because that candy roaster sounds nice. And I'm interested in the Russian one, see what that looks like. But anyway, I will see you on my next video. Ta-ra.